What's going on, guys? Just jamming out here to tool while I am working on the truck. In the last video I jumped around a lot, so I apologize for that. I was just kind of scatterbrained and was trying to run all over everything that I did to the truck. So I'll start from the beginning. The truck is a 1989 Chevy regular cab short bed 1500 two-wheel drive, so it's a C1500. And then the 1500 designates half ton. So it's the shortest wheelbase you can get. It has the biggest engine you can get in a half ton, which is the 350, unless you were to get the 454 SS, which was a very limited production run. You could get the 454 in a half ton, which is the same exact truck, short wheelbase, everything. The truck started out as an automatic. It was swapped to a 5-speed NV3500 before I got it. Has American Racing aluminum 15-inch wheels on it. It's got the red interior, bench seat, no cup holders. It had a decent stereo setup in it. The head unit's gone, so I don't know exactly what it is, but it's got JBL door speakers and it has tweeters in the headliner. So I think it had a pretty decent setup at one point. So what I've done to it, I've taken the bed off. I have taken the fuel tank out because that was rusted out. I have put a new fuel pump in it, but backwards progress. After I put the pump in, I had to take the tank out. So yeah, the new pump is sitting right here in the new tank, waiting to go in. So what I've been working on today is rust coating the frame. As you can see, parts of it are black, parts of it are white. The black portions are where the chemical reaction is taking place, where it is converting the rust to an inert state, just stopping it from happening anymore and turning it into primer, essentially. So, yeah. I've painted all the easy to get to spots. I'm gonna go in for lunch here in a minute, and once all this stuff is dry, I'll be able to sit back there in the middle and get the tough to reach spots back in under there, up under the frame rail. Yeah, all that fun stuff. I am using this stuff I got on Amazon. It was some of the best rated stuff, all the top 10 rust converting paint. This was always on the list and usually number one. It was, I believe, $48 for the whole gallon. And I'm just using this little cottage cheese container. To do everything that I've done, I've used about half of that cottage cheese container, which is a little more than a pint maybe. So really it's been going pretty well. I should have plenty of this stuff left over for future projects. And so far I'm pretty happy with it. We'll see how the rest of the chemical reaction goes. Everywhere it's white here is where there was no rust to speak of for it to react with. So obviously back here was pretty bad. This is where everything gets flung up from the tires and just holds. This cross brace right here that the spare tire mounts to is usually pretty crusty. It was very bad on my green truck. But up here, right over the wheels, was spray painted at one point. It was all pretty damn solid, so really nothing to speak of there. So then in the last video, I never really got into my plans for the truck. It's gonna keep the 350 for now and the NV3500. I'm gonna do a QA1 coilover kit with Beltec drop spindles in the front. So the Beltec drop spindles are good for a 2-inch drop. The coilovers are good for an additional 2 inches. So that'll be a 4-inch drop in the rear, and I'm gonna do a 4-inch drop in the front, and I will do a 6-inch drop in the rear. Now with the price of the QA1 stuff, I'm just gonna do the front for now, and I'll just do a cheap, maybe Beltec, something cheap, C-notch and axle flip in the back, and I'll keep the leaf springs for a bit, so that when, say, the axle quits, I can do all the QA1 stuff on a better rear axle that's not this junk little 10 bolt. That'll just allow me to save time and money down the road. So I'll get that stuff out of the way. I'll get the body work taken care of, fix the rust, rockers, cab corners, wheel arches, fix the crash damage where the guy hit a parked Volkswagen Beetle. I did talk to the previous owner. He told me how the crash happened, what happened, all that. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that. Maybe he'll show up in one of my future videos, which would be really cool, and he can just explain it to you guys himself. Where was I going? I had a train of thought. I lost it. Right, body work. I'll get that stuff out of the way, and then hopefully late next summer into the fall, I will have a 6.0 iron block truck engine built up. It'll get built from the beginning. I know the stock LS engines can take a lot of power, a lot of boost. But a 6.0 is kind of hard to find for anything below $1,000 with the harness and the computer and everything. So I'd rather not punch a hole in it. I know I would probably be fine at just 400 horsepower on the street, but I want to be able to turn it up to 800, maybe even 1,000 whenever I want to. And the stock bottom end, I just don't feel safe doing that. So it'll get forged rods, forged pistons. I'll keep the stock crank probably because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Stock heads, stock truck intake manifold because they flow something like 13% better than the car manifolds. Twin eBay turbos, just a basic, fairly budget setup that's not too ridiculous. It should be able to see 800 no problem, which in this truck would just be plenty. And for a street truck at that, it'll get a T56 eventually whenever this 5-speed NV3500 quits. The biggest thing with the 3500 is it's just a slow shifting transmission with a really long throw. Not to mention the fact that this one in particular has a lot of play in the shifter. Like, it is in first gear right now. That is all in first gear. So like first, second, third, fourth, fifth, that is full extension of my arm. And for those of you that don't know or don't know me in person, I am 6'2" and I have a 6'3" inch wingspan. Don't know what that was, but I guess I don't need it. So for my arm being a 6'3" wingspan to be at full extension for fifth gear, that's a really long throw, and I really don't like it. So T56 will happen. That'll move the shifter back a lot, which means I won't be able to keep the bench seat, which means I'll have to do buckets, which I like the bench. I think it adds to the sleeper effect, but if I'm making enough power to need the T56, I'm going to need something that'll hold me in place. So it's probably for the best. So yeah, I think once I get the back end back together, I'll be able to take the front clip off. I'll be able to replace the head gaskets, and I'll have enough of this rust treatment to recoat the front frame, or I guess coat it in the first place because I have not coated it yet. And that will help preserve the front of this frame, and I'll be able to just get the whole front end back together so I can drive it. I do have the title, clean title, all that stuff. That's all been taken care of. So the only thing I have to do is get it to where I can drive it, call up my insurance, and we're good. So the exhaust, I've got it cut apart right now. I cut out that bad angle from right here from the driver's side pipe. It's actually sitting right here where it was real thin and stuff. Still got the tip right here in the crossover. I'm gonna redo the driver's side over axle. I have a Y pipe over there on the floor. Zoom in on it. that I got off Amazon for 20 bucks. So I'll run that with a 3-inch straight pipe going from the factory Y pipe to the splitter, run the splitter to the original twin exit exhaust. So we'll see how I like that. If it's too loud, I can always throw just an inline muffler, glass pack, Flowmaster, chambered, welded, what have you, in there if I want to. Finding a single in, dual out muffler like the one down there was pretty tough. I couldn't find one at AutoZone or O'Reilly's or Advance or anything like that. I would have to order it in. All the ones I could find online were 50 bucks, which isn't too bad, but then they would have like 10 or 15, $20 shipping on top of that. And I didn't feel like spending, 70 bucks on a muffler that I would only use for a year. So I'll get away with something a lot cheaper for now. It'll still sound decent. It's a 350, it's a V8. They all sound good. Here you can see the patch panel for the cab corner. Right here is where it came over, and right there is actually the corner of the panel. So they just stuck it on top of the rust and welded it right over, I think, which that sucks. I'm gonna have to take my wire brush to it, clean it up, and see what I'm really working with here. And then you can see how it's gotten into the corner of the cab. I'm gonna have to cut this out and patch this little area here. So that kind of sucks, but I'll get it taken care of. Not too big a deal. It's got a little dent right here. Before paint, I'll probably fill that with Bondo and just smooth it all over. Just stuff like that to get this thing ready for paint. I'll probably do a Mako job. I know a guy that does paint, but honestly, I'd rather have it professionally done, as professional as you can call Mako, and I can always redo it in the future. I really don't care. So yeah. Anyway, that's the truck. That's a little bit more of a, not really simplified, but more of a direction to the video. It's not too much different than the last one, but at least you guys can see what's going on. You can see my plans for it. 800 horsepower stick shift street truck, twin turbo LS powered, and it should be a lot of fun. I've just always loved this generation, and it's a truck that I've wanted to play with for a while now. So I finally got one. I finally got something with some aftermarket instead of my Impala. All the aftermarket for that, whatever aftermarket it used to have, is gone. So for the same price that I would have 400 horsepower in that, I can have 800 horsepower in this and have something with a whole lot more street cred and something that's still a truck, because my country ass likes a truck. So thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'll post another update video probably next weekend with what I'm getting done on it. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, whatever. Oh yes, I told you guys about my Instagram, shameless plug, in the last video, but my dumbass totally forgot to give you guys my tag. So, or my handle, or whatever the fuck it's called. So if you go on Instagram and you want to follow, I post more regular updates on there, on my story and posting. It is twin turbo _89. And then my profile picture is the front clip of this truck while it was still in the impound lot. So you guys should be able to find me pretty easy on there. Again, twin turbo 89. Go follow me, I guess, on there is what that one is. This is subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, go follow me on Instagram, because you guys will see a lot more of what I've been doing on there on the daily. So yeah, thanks for watching.